Hello everybody, Northern Hero here. I thought I'd have my camcorder a little bit higher than usual. I forgot to show you this. It's the Bible book by DK, and what a great book. Obviously it's not everything from the Bible, but I tell you what, it is absolutely incredible, and I think it were only £10 from Amazon, and it's a £18 book, hardback. And right, I'll read you a bit. How does God speak through prophecy? What does the parable of the vineyard teach? What is the significance of the Transfiguration? Examining the Bible from Genesis to Revelation, this book explores and analyses the key stories, events and teachings in one of the world's most important religious texts. Written in plain English, the Bible book is filled with important quotations from the scriptures and features bold graphics that detail the core ideas, recurring themes and key figures of the Old and New Testaments, making it the perfect guide to anyone with an interest in Christianity or religion in general. Whether you are a Bible scholar or want to expand your theological knowledge, you'll find plenty to engage and inspire you in this book. I'm currently on that page. I haven't, flipped through it quite a few times, so I'm on 32, 33. That shouldn't be hard to remember because Jesus was 33 when he died. So I'll just take that out for now. So I'm on page 33, and I'm just going to show you. Well, that's just the Bible book, obviously. It's going to take quite a long time for me to do this, or is it? Anyway, I'll obviously the contents, introduction, and Genesis. God said, "Let there be light." Genesis 1:3. It shows you some extremely awesome paintings as well. The creation is this picture here. The creation is one of 117 woodcut illustrations by Lucas Cranach, the elder in Martin Luther's Bible of 1534. It shows a benevolent God looking down on his creation with Adam and Eve at the centre of the Garden of Eden. It's very, I like it, pictures and that, it's not like for kids, although kids can have it. I really want to start getting into this because, do you know something, I was reading through this about a few weeks ago, and I thought, what shall I listen to? And I was listening to classical music, believe it or not, and it just made, classical music, some of it anyway, is a masterpiece, isn't it, and when I was listening to that and reading, it just made it better somehow. I don't know, but yep, I know it wasn't worship music, What some of you might like to listen to praise and worship. I will listen to classical, and I really enjoyed it. According to the first book of Genesis, God created the world, all that is in the world, as well as the entire universe in 7 days. Day 1, day and light. Day 2, sky and sea. Day 3, moon and stars. Day 4, plants and trees. Day 5, fish and birds. Day 6, animals and humans. Day 7, rest. Let us make man in our image, in our likeness. The making of man. Well, I'll not bother reading it, or it'll be an hour video, won't it? You know, if I start I might read little bits now and again. They realised that they were naked. I mean, I think it's brilliant. At that time, people began to call on the name of the Lord, Genesis 4:26, the origin of prayer. I'll read a little bit actually. This is from page 38. The first extended prayer in the Bible arises from the anguish of a couple longing for children. It bursts forth during a conversation initiated by God with Abraham, after the king of Sodom tries to strike a deal that will obligate Abraham. God tells Abraham not to be afraid. God himself will be Abraham's shield and very great reward. To this Abraham retorts, "What can you give me since I remain childless?" That's Genesis 15:2. God's answer to this outburst or prayer is to take Abraham outside and point to the night sky. Look up to the heavens and count the stars. If indeed you can count them, God pauses, then adds, so shall your offspring be. Only Noah was left in the ark, Genesis 7:23, and those who were with him in the ark. And some magnificent paintings, like I've already mentioned. Do you know, if I had my own place, I think I'd have some Bible masterpieces, even if they're copies, you know, posters or whatever, and then just get a frame round. You know, I think they'd look really good. I will make you a great nation. Sodom and Gomorrah. 12 tribes of Israel. Right, so this is about Jacob wrestles with God, Genesis 32:28. Jacob is the son of Isaac and Rebekah and younger brother of Esau. I'll not read, but the 12 tribes of Israel during his years of self-imposed exile. Jacob prospers both in terms of wealth and in the number of children born to his wives and concubines. His first wife, Leah, bears 6 sons: Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Issachar and Zebulun, while Rachel, his favourite wife, who struggles to conceive, gives birth to Joseph and Benjamin, the last child causing her to die in childbirth. In addition, Bilhah, Rachel's handmaiden, and Zilpah, Leah's servants, each give birth to 2 sons by Jacob, Dan, Naphtali, Gad and Asher. Biblical tradition holds that these 12 sons, along with 2 of Jacob's grandsons through Joseph, would form the 12 tribes of Israel, or Israelites, after the name given to Jacob by the stranger on the sands at Peniel. And Mosaic represents the 12 tribes of Israel descended from Jacob. The 12 tribes will eventually populate Canaan, the promised land, from the Wadi of Egypt to the Euphrates. That's Genesis 15:18. We will see what will become of his dreams, Joseph the Dreamer. Exodus 2, Deuteronomy. Isn't it lovely just having a book sometimes, you know, without the internet and that? Yes, it's certainly a break from the internet. I think it's better for our eyes as well. When we're looking at as phones or tablets or laptops, you know, it's the bright screens. And have you noticed there's been a massive increase of people wearing glasses in the last 10 years? You know why? Because people are always looking at the phones a bit, and it's doing something to the eyeball. Reading books is brilliant, my friends. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for the internet, but there's nothing like it, you know. It's a physical book, you know, not invisible or whatever. You know, it weighs a bit, but I think the only downside is that books and that and stuff can add up, and then you've got a lot of clutter then in your bedroom. So it's the thing with games, isn't it? You know, I tried downloading a game the other day, and because we've got slow internet, it was taking absolutely ages indeed. And I think I prefer just to go out and just buy a physical game, you know, then I've got it, you know, not waiting to download, although some of them obviously can take time to go onto your hard drive on the PlayStation. But yeah, I do prefer, I mean, I can sell some of these games. When you're downloading stuff, you can't sell it then, can you? The value just, it's not valued anymore. It's worthless because you've got it on your system, and there's no way whatsoever that you can sell the game, what you've downloaded for instance, onto something else. Same with that Kindle, you know, people are always downloading different books. Yes, it might be cheaper and that, but in the long run they're not going to be worth a penny, are they? And I like books sometimes. It's a nice change from the internet. Oh, the water has changed to blood. Exodus 7:20, the 10 plagues. Brilliant book, this. I've not read it all, but I would have to give it 10 out of 10. Stretch out your hand over the sea to divide the water. That's a great painting, that. I like it. The 10 Commandments, and they're here. Might as well read them, hadn't I? 1. You shall have no other gods before me. Funny, isn't it, that that's number 1. I don't know, I mean, it could have been number 4, number 5. But when Moses were writing these, from God's commanded Moses to write them down on the tablets. That was the very first one. And I have read in the Bible plenty of times about having idols. Now, obviously, if somebody's not a Christian, you know, they might have little buddies about or something, you know, thinking, oh, they look good. Well, they don't look good at all. Buddha was a fat get, and I'll tell you what, that idol, it looks absolutely awful. Not nice at all. But people have them because I think it's an enlightenment or something that Buddha will give you. I don't know, it's a load of crap anyway, but why is that number one? That's the very first one. It's so important not to have any other idols. Alright? You shall have no other gods before me. So don't start worshipping gods, other gods. In Hinduism, they worship elephants. I don't know, but it's... Number two, you shall not make for yourself an idol and worship it. Well, that probably relates to number one, doesn't it? Let me read number two again. Well, number one says, you shall have no other gods before me. So that probably means stuff like, I don't know, football for instance. Could be a god. I don't know. They must be different, these two. Number two, you shall not make yourself an idol and worship it. And I have read it, don't know where. Cursed is the one that worships an idol or something very similar. Be careful, my friends, on who you worship. Number three, you shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. So do not say Jesus Christ when you fall down, when you bang your head or something. People are using that Jesus Christ as a swear word, and it's not good at all. I know non-Christians that say it, but what can you do to say to them, hey, excuse me, don't say that. We are all influenced by the TV, for instance, you know, there's some great shows on, you know, I like The Simpsons, but how many times do we hear Jesus Christ in our favourite programmes? And that, wrestling as well, and that is influencing us to say those words and copying them on the TV. But number three does say, you shall not misuse the name of the Lord your God. So stop saying Jesus Christ when you fall down. You might as well say the F word, because at least the F word is not going to anger God, is it? Do you know what I mean? Not as much as saying that. It's real stuff, this. Number four, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. Well, the Sabbath could be a different day for different people. You get carers that work Sundays, and they might be on a 12 or 13 hour shift. Some of them can be very shattered, so they haven't got time for God on a Sunday. But they might not work on a Tuesday, for instance, so they might give their time on a Tuesday, as long as you give one day. Number five, honour your father and your mother. You know, we have to respect our parents. Number six, you shall not murder. Don't kill people. There's a lot of knife crime arising in Great Britain. And I might do a video on this about knife crime because it's out of control. People are killing each other, and I'm going to pray about it as well. Number seven, you shall not commit adultery. If you are married to a woman, you do not go out to a brothel and shag another woman. When you are married, you keep close. You do not go off to somebody else. That is adultery, my friends. You keep to your wives and to your husbands. It is very important not to commit. You do not commit adultery, and if you do, you really need to repent and ask God to forgive you. Number eight, you shall not steal. There are a lot of thieves about, and even though sometimes when people